If you're a retro Sega fan, you almost certainly know the name Yuzo Koshiro. He was the composer for classic games like The Revenge of Shinobi, Streets of Rage, and the 8-bit Sonic titles. His early work also included a bunch of hits, like Ys, Sorcerian, and Legacy of the Wizard. He would even branch out on Nintendo consoles a bit, and was responsible for the incredible music heard in the ActRaiser titles. In the years since, this guy has worked on games from a number of top-rated series. Castlevania, Super Smash Bros., Shenmue, Dance Dance Revolution, and Kid Icarus have all seen something composed by him. His body of work in sound is worth celebrating all by itself, but his contributions to gaming go much further. In 1990, he formed a new development company with his family called Ancient, which would create some bona fide classics like Beyond Oasis and Streets of Rage 2, just to name a few. The steady quality this man and his studio has been associated with is admirable to say the least. So when they announced a brand new Sega Genesis title in 2023 called Earthion, I was pretty damn excited to see it. For this game, Ancient decided to try their hand at a shoot 'em up, and in this episode, we are gonna find out if it's up to their lofty standards. Hope you guys enjoy my review of Earthion, available now on Steam. The story behind Earthion starts with humanity's exodus to the planet Mars. But during this time, an alien invader hits Earth with the full might of their armada. Mankind is ripped to shreds in the early days, and the family of our hero, Asusa Takanashi, is killed, setting up her tale of revenge. Using a ship designed from captured alien technology, she shoots into action with what's left of our Space Force at one last shot to repel the alien menace. And so, the adventure begins. The gameplay is mostly that of a horizontal shoot 'em up, but there are moments when the screen does scroll vertically. The weapon, power-up, and life systems in place are rather robust and gives you numerous options to employ. You start out with your main blaster, which has a level bar under the score on the left-hand side of the screen. Under that is your shield, which depletes with damage and recharges when you're in the clear. Deplete that shield fully and your ship explodes and you lose a life. You can pick up additional weapons in the field as options, carrying 2 at any one time at the start and can be switched on the fly. These sub-weapons range from your classic spread shot, bombs, powerful lasers, and burst shots. These weapons also have a power meter above them on the right-hand side of the screen. The power meters of the weapons are charged by picking up green gems called Soulrium that appear in the field. Take damage, and like your shields, the weapon meters will deplete and ultimately be destroyed. Picking up more green gems will overcharge your weapon so you can take a lot more hits. Soulrium comes in different sizes and can boost you faster if you pick up the larger ones first. Pay special attention to the adaptation module, which appears like the weapons you can pick up. This little guy does nothing at first, but hold on to it to the very end of the stage and you'll get the option to access a bunch of different upgrades. Here you can get extra lives, another shield meter section, another main weapon power-up section, additional sub-weapon levels, and carry additional weapon slots. Needless to say, this is one of the most important parts of the game, and these upgrades last from play session to play session no matter the settings you change, including the difficulty. Your options and game setup are also fairly impressive. You can set this sucker up to be accessible to even the most squishy of shoot 'em up fans. There are easy, normal, hard, and hotshot difficulties that scale exceptionally well. You can give yourself up to 6 lives, and lives do carry over via the password. Genre vets may want to start out on normal or hard to kick in the extra challenge, but I found moving up from easy a great way to adjust to the gameplay. There's also a music player, a control configuration, a music test, and a sound effect test. In the Steam version I'll be using here, there are also a variety of modern options that will likely extend to the consoles when they are available. You can mess with how the sound is processed. There are numerous display settings for things like scanlines, filters, borders, and gamma. There's even a slew of demos you can play of the game in development, including a prototype version that shows you just how far it's come. I mentioned Earthion uses a password system to restore your progress, and you'll need it to practice those harder settings with your saved upgrades. It gives you 3 continues to work with, but they go fast while you adjust to the carnage of the higher settings. Developed on the SGDK, it's amazing how well this game looks and is a new standard for modern Sega Genesis titles. Hell, this might be a new standard for Genesis visuals, period. The backgrounds are full of nice touches, gorgeous layering, and the color use is right up there with the best this console has ever produced. This is Thunder Force 4 levels of goodness. The sprite work is equally as impressive. The screen stays full of enemy weapon fire, ships, debris, and all sorts of cool little animations. It does all that with virtually no slowdown and hardly any sprite flicker. If you stop there, that'd be enough to fawn over this game's looks, but then come the special effects. Everything from the ship shooting into action, the explosions, the large amount of simulated sprite scaling, and the impressive color cycling and warping of the later stages left me in awe. Ancient went the extra mile to make sure this one would be remembered and command respect in the community, something I feel they've accomplished and then some. I don't have a single negative thing to say about this one as far as graphics. Your expectations were understandably high given the pedigree, and Ancient has met them head on and satisfied in a really big way. There's so much I want to show you, but that would be spoiling an incredible experience. You have to see this one for yourself.
Strike its weak point.
With a game composed by Yuzo Koshiro, you expect the music to be god tier. And let's not mince words here, this dude knows synth like few others. I went in expecting something that sounded good, but Yuzo hits a home run here on an epic scale. This soundtrack doesn't just push the action along, it becomes a tangible piece of the environment and a character all its own. This is how you design sound for a video game. The in-game music player allows you to experience it all, while the intro loops over and over. Prepare yourself for a few examples that are just gonna knock your socks off. I almost hated the idea of reviewing this after a few hours of gameplay. I knew that it would be basically 15 minutes of me gushing over its sound, visuals, and gameplay. That begs the question, is there anything here that needs real criticism? As far as 16-bit Genesis games go, no. This product is fantastic start to finish. The stage variety helps the replay value. Multiple bosses await you in every area. The difficulty is tuned for both hardcore and casual fans. The sound is awe-inspiring, the visuals stunning, and though the gameplay is straightforward, it's tried and true 16-bit goodness inspired by a number of legends in the genre. It's both familiar and new, a combination that does the material justice. The only complaint I have here is that I'm not enjoying this on my Sega Genesis first. Instead, I'm playing it on my crappy-ass laptop with a garbage Xbox One pad. This game should have met my eyes, ears, and hands first with a Genesis beside me, a CRT in front of me, and the most perfect of two-dimensional controllers ready to get the job done. No, we have to wait until sometime in 2026 now to see a physical Genesis and Mega Drive release under the banner of limited run games. I know the developers have their reasons, but that's still one hell of a bitter pill to swallow for a game that started life as a Genesis product. For what it's worth, this is only $20 on Steam, and I can honestly say it's worth every penny of that. It's also coming to the PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch in September, so you have a variety of ways to play it. There's even an arcade version planned for it. It still chaps my ass that the Genesis edition is MIA, but at least you can get a taste for it while you wait. It would be a terrible thing to only mention Yuzo Koshiro in regards to this game's development. Ancient has some talented people on staff for this one, and they all deserve a job well done. There are also some other things you should know. Physical editions for the modern platforms is also being handled by Limited Run Games and can be pre-ordered as of the time of this video. If you are the type that listens to game music outside of playing it, there are both vinyl and cassette options you can indulge in. 8BitDo is also doing an M30 variant that is themed with the ship in Earthion. This is a great pad no matter how it's painted, and I must say, I rather like the way it looks. The game itself has been a long time coming, and I'm glad it crosses the finish line in winning style. It's 8 levels of solid shooting action that every Genesis fan, old and new, should enjoy. Those of you choosing to wait out the Genesis physical release have my sympathies, because that's gonna be one painful wait after seeing this one in action. I really hope it sells well, because Ancient has a talent that could benefit the retro community many more times in the future. As well as Earthion has turned out, I would love to see these guys do a retro Streets of Rage 1 remake for the Genesis, utilizing the visuals and gameplay from parts 2 and 3. The possibilities are truly tantalizing. I'm Sega Lord X. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.